Did you like the movie? Awesome. Please give a warm welcome to Director Pete Sohn. Hello.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yeah. So, Peter, thanks for being here first.
Thank you for having me.
Jaden, a 5th grader from Franklin Elementary. Is Franklin Elementary here? No? Oh, okay. So he wants to know what inspired you to make this movie.
A lot of science and a lot of family life. Do all of you have parents? Yeah, and so my parents came from another country, and they came here, and a lot of the story was based off of those experiences.
Excellent. Annabelle, a 4th grader from Mrs. Wilson's class at Monte Vista, wants to know, why did you choose elements rather than people as the characters?
I thought the idea of fire and water as characters was so fun to me, and it reminded me a lot of my relationship with my wife, where I am more like water because I cry at everything, and my wife is like fire because she's so much more passionate. And so we went down that route because it was really fun for animation.
Achilles from Mrs. Wilson's class wants to know, what was your inspiration for all the characters' names?
It was a lot of vocabulary, of fun playing with fire words, words that are connected with fire or water or air or earth. And so if you could, like grass, rocks, how to sort of play with that. And then if it sounded like a name, that's how we did it.
Derek from Mrs. Jensen's 4th grade class at the Howard School. Is Derek here? Wants to know, where did you get the idea for the backstory of the fire people?
A lot of it had to do with trying to play with like what you know about fire. So would it be funny if fire people sat in a regular chair or in a fire grate? Would it be funny if fire people ate human food like a sandwich, or if they ate wood? And so we were basing a lot of their culture off of what we could play with just with fire.
Mm-hmm. And Taylor from Mrs. Barr's 6th grade class at Roosevelt School wants to know, why did you choose fire to be the element that was outcast?
I felt very much like my family. Well, just so you know, with fire is the thing that can change the other elements. Fire can melt water. It can change, make water into gas. And so it was the one sort of agent that could change everything. And so that's why we loved fire as our main character.
Jacob from Mrs. Barth class at Roosevelt wants to know, how long does it take to make an animated film like Elemental?
Elemental took a long time. It was 7 years it took to make the film. It was most of the average films are about maybe 5 years. This took a little longer because at Pixar we've never made characters that were made of fire or water. We've done cars, we've done plastic toys, but never characters that were moving around a lot. And that technology took a long time to make.
Nice follow-up here. Ms. Patowski's 6th grade class at Bill Libin Elementary want to know, what was the hardest part of making Elemental?
I think the hardest part was Wade, the water character. If you know water, it reflects light. If it's in the darkness, you can't see it. The bubbles inside him, he was crying so much. All of that took so long to do. He was impossible.
Ms. Rengel's 5th grade class at San Ynez Elementary School want to know, does anything from Elemental connect to the other films that were worked on in Pixar?
I don't know if you saw it, but have you guys seen the film Up? Do you guys remember a character named Doug the dog? If you ever see this film again, you will see Doug in the background of the movie, but we replaced his fur with grass. And so watch it again and you'll find him. So that's a connection.
Bryden, a fourth grader from Miss Wilson's class in Monte Vista, would like to know, would you want to be one of the characters in Elemental? And if so, which one?
I would love to be a water character, so it would be okay to just cry at everything.
Leo from Ms. Barr's sixth grade class at Roosevelt School wants to know, what advice would you give to someone like me who wants to be a director?
I would say just study everyone around you, remember all the stories that you're living and keep telling them to your friends and then share all the work that you do.
Jackson from Ms. Jensen's fourth grade class at the Howard School would like to know, how do you decide which Easter eggs you put in the Pixar movies and what do they mean?
Well, sometimes you're working so hard and focused on the movie that some of the people that you're working with will sneak Easter eggs in and you don't even know that they're going in there. So it really depends on the artist and what's been done. Like one of our old Easter eggs is the Luxo ball. There's a ball that's yellow with a star on it and it's been put in every movie. And I still am not sure where they've put it. It's somewhere in the movie, but it's a crew member that has put it in there.
Ms. Rangel's fifth grade class at San Ynez Elementary School wants to know, did Elemental start as a different idea? How did the plot evolve?
It started off as Earth builders. I think the original idea was sort of like magma people that were in the core of the Earth. And but every time I told the story, no one was connecting to those type of characters, and so I connected it more to families and to my relationships in my life and friends, and that started opening up the story.
And a follow-up question, Eve from Mrs. Jensen's fourth grade class at the Howard School would like to know, how many drafts of the script did you need for this movie?
I think we had maybe about 6 drafts to get this film. Yeah.
Excellent. Ms. Hack's fourth grade class from Clarence Ruth Elementary in Lompoc want to know, was it the aspect that was nerve-wracking to you making the film?
Oh, the nerve-wracking. I think working with the composer, with the music, it was beautiful, but when you're making the movie, there's no real music to it, and then you work with someone that's gonna, I feel like music is 50% of the experience, and the sort of collaboration of that was really nerve-wracking, but ultimately really gratifying and beautiful.
Mrs. Hack's fourth grade class from Clarence Ruth Elementary in Lompoc have a complicated question here. For the animation, do you use body movement, coding, scripting, or programs like the animation program called Blender? How do you guys know about all this stuff?
Yes, a lot of it was programs like Blender. They have programs at Pixar that are very, very similar, where you're modeling the characters and you're building them like a sculpture, and then a lot of animators are moving them frame by frame. Sometimes they're recording their bodies and acting out a scene, and they'll record it and then watch that and try to mimic that with the characters.
Ms. Rangel's fifth grade class at San Ynez Elementary School want to know, were there any problems with animating the characters? How many attempts did it take to animate, and what was the process like?
There were many attempts at Wade and Ember. Wade is water. I don't know if you noticed this, but like when he turns around, could you see his eyeballs in the back of his head? Could you see his mouth? Did you see light ever go through him? All of that was really difficult to try to make up, because real water does different things, but we wanted to make it feel like real water. But is all water blue? Right, and it's blue because of the light that's there, and so we had to find different tricks to make it feel like water. If you slowed down his water, he would look like a big Jell-O guy, and so there was just a lot of little tricks that you would do to try to make him stay like water.
Elf from Mrs. Ruth, 5th grade class at Alice Shaw Elementary, would like to know, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was a little kid, I wanted to work at a toy store. I think that was the dream. And then maybe do comics on the side.
And Sophia from Ms. Manilay's 5th grade class at Roosevelt wants to know, when did you start making films?
I started making films in the 10th grade. And
Wow.
but back then, there was no technology. You had to draw every frame, paint every frame, and then shoot it onto film. And but yeah, it was the 10th grade. I had an opportunity to do that, and I couldn't stop since.
Fantastic. August from Ms. Manilay's 5th grade class at Roosevelt Elementary asked, why did you choose the path of directing?
I really just wanted to be an animator and just bring characters to life. I was at Pixar. I got into the story department, and most of the time in the story department, you're doing little drawings and you're pitching them. And as you're pitching them, you're talking about the characters, you're doing voices, and that act of it started really pulling me into the idea of directing something. And telling stories is, one of the greatest things you can do.
Alexia from Miss Griffith, 5th grade class at Washington Elementary, want to know, what was it like being both a director and a voice actor? Was it fun?
Yeah, the voice work is really, really fun. But I don't know if I can consider myself a voice actor because it's always this voice. Like, did any of you guys see Lightyear? There's a cat in their socks, and I did that voice, but then I also did a voice for Monsters University. You guys remember that movie? There was a little chubby guy named Squishy, and but it's the same voice. I can't do a different voice. So the directing job is a lot more complicated than doing the voice work.
Jake from Miss Manilay's 5th grade class at Roosevelt would like to know, why do you like animated films?
I love them because they could be for anybody. I remember growing up and seeing a movie called Dumbo, and I remember seeing it with my mom. And my mom doesn't speak English very well, but that movie was, done with not a lot of dialogue, and my mother connected to it. And that experience has always made me love animation because it can be so universal.
Ms. Rangel's 5th grade class at San Ynez Elementary School want to know, are you planning on making a sequel or prequel to Elemental?
I don't know. Should I do a sequel? I have no idea. We haven't been doing... I guess I should start planning. And what do you want it to be about? All right. We'll take all those ideas and then put it in there.
I had one question, but I can't remember who it was from, that wanted to know, what is your favorite film?
My favorite movie of all time would be Dumbo. I love that movie.
It was Sandra G. from Miss Griffith class at Washington Elementary. What's your favorite film? And also, she wanted to know, do all of your films have special meanings to them?
Yeah, this movie started out about wanting to thank our parents for the sacrifices that they made. And it was, the meaning for me has just been about honoring the people that, love you and take a lot of risks for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for being here.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
You guys. Get home safe.